Good afternoon, well, it's Ivan O'Mara. It's 4 o'clock. Hope you guys enjoyed my video I made earlier this morning, around 10 o'clock. Yeah. Ivan, I thought you were going to make your go-through series. Not today. I'll eventually make it. I'll eventually make my go-through series. The go-through series will be a bit boring, though, because it's just me going over my book, right? So I decided to just make another video instead of doing a go-through series. It's more entertaining, right? When you see me talk and everything. I still got 3 beers left. I'll save my 3 beers for this video. Yeah. Now after this, I might watch a movie. I might maybe rewatch Lord of the Rings. Maybe watch Two Towers, maybe. After this, I'll watch Two Towers. Yeah. Ivan, if you can write a novel, can you write a screenplay? Yes. If you can write an amazing novel, you shouldn't have a problem writing your own screenplay. Yeah, because I'm gifted, I can write. I don't even need Peter's help. I can easily write Xanus on my own, but it's good to have help. Because chances are, if I write on my own, the dialogue might be perhaps a little bit raw, maybe in some sections. For screenwriting, in my opinion, you should co-write it. Have people help you out, because screenwriting is more difficult than writing a novel. Because it's motion picture, you have to visualize every scene, man. Everything that happens, you have to visualize it. But because I wrote a masterpiece, if you follow the book, you're gonna get a masterpiece, obviously. When I co-write with Mel Gibson or Peter, whoever I choose, right? Yeah, I need Peter and Fran helping me out. And I might perhaps hire Philip Boyens. Philip Boyens can come on board as my assistant producer, and she can help us out with a screenplay. But I told you, Peter, Fran, and Guillermo del Toro is enough help. I don't need Philip Boyens. But Philip Boyens is Peter's writing partner. So Peter might tell me, Ivan, we should have Philip Boyens on board too. She'll help us out a lot with the script. But chances are I won't have Philip Boyens. I don't need Philip Boyens. Fran and Peter is enough to help me out with the screenplay. And Guillermo del Toro too. Guillermo del Toro wrote The Hobbit. He co-wrote The Hobbit. He's good too to help me out with the screenplay for Xanus. Yeah. But to take the stress off Peter, I'm not going to do a thing where we lock ourselves in my office and we work on the script for maybe like 10 hours. You're going to stress Peter out. I'll be stressed out. To take the stress off Peter, we only work on it for maybe 3.5 hours a day. Like, we start work at 9. We work on the screenplay till 12, lunchtime. In the afternoon, we focus on the concerts. That way you take the stress off Peter. So every day we write a good maybe 3-4 pages of the script. And then in a good like 6 months, 5 months, we'll finish the screenplay. For my screenplay for Xanus, you're looking at like, I don't know, 450, 500, maybe even 600 page screenplay, something crazy. Because my book, we're actually going to be following a lot of it like word to word, right? My book, you can actually follow it page by page. Whereas Lord of the Rings, you can't do that because Tolkien has so many things going on every page. It's crazy. People will tell me, yeah, Ivan, your book is much more easy to adapt. We can actually follow page by page. Whereas Lord of the Rings, you can't do that because your Tolkien has so many things going on every page. It's crazy. In 2 pages, Frodo and them are already walking for miles and camping and all stuff in Fellowship of the Ring. They meet Tom Bombadil, they meet Old Man Willow, they meet Farmer Maggot, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, Gildor the Elf, Glorfindel, all those guys. And then you have Goldberry, and you have the Barrow Downs. It's crazy. Hence why Peter had to cut out so many things in the movie when he wrote the screenplay for Lord of the Rings. He was, Ivan, this is fun. I'm having a blast working on your screenplay, I know. Why is Peter having a blast? Because he knows the whole world's buzzing about the movie. I can't wait to watch this movie. And Peter's training with me and everything, and he's feeling on top of the world. At the same time, he's a nerd. He wants to make the best movie possible. That's why he's like, Ivan, this is fun. I'm having a blast working on your screenplay. Even though this is dirty, this is fun. The doctor's filming us. It's gonna be a sick documentary. Yeah, Peter's all excited. Fran and Guillermo are excited too for when they write the screenplay with me and Peter, right? If I choose Peter. And I'm shocked by how talented Peter is. I'm like, holy shit, Peter, you're fucking talented. Yeah, Evan, I wrote Lord of the Rings. Yeah, and Peter's shocked by how talented I am too. I have all these ideas for the scenes, and yeah, because I'm going to be adding quite a bit of stuff in the movie. Obviously, that's not in the book. I'm going to be changing everything too. I'm not going to make drastic changes, but I'm going to be changing quite a bit of stuff in the movie. Because there's certain things in the book that will not work well on screen. You have to make a few changes, obviously. But I don't want to do a thing where Peter takes dialogue of someone else and gives it to another person. I don't want you doing that, Peter, for my movie. Don't do that like you did for Lord of the Rings, right? Because for Lord of the Rings, he did that a lot. He took dialogues from a different book, putting it in a different book, and taking dialogue from a different character, putting it in another character, having another character say that dialogue. I don't want Peter doing that for my movie. You know, Ivan, for Lord of the Rings, I have to do that, man. The Lord of the Rings is a hassle to do with that. Whereas your book we can follow it, Ivan. Like, we can actually follow page by page. Yeah, my book can easily follow page by page. It's easier to follow than Lord of the Rings. Whereas Lord of the Rings, you can't really follow page by page. Otherwise, you'll have pacing issues in your story. But because my book is a masterpiece and the whole story, I keep it pacing, we easily follow it page by page. But we'll be adding quite a bit of stuff. That's why writing the screenplay for Xanus will not be difficult. Because we're actually gonna follow. Yeah, Peter's alright. We can follow page by page your book and just add stuff to make it more interesting. Yeah, make a few changes, and we end up writing a masterpiece of a screenplay together. Me and Peter, Frank and Del Toro, for the movie. Samsara. Did you eat the Ivan? I had one plate of leftover shawarma. I had like rice with chicken, beef, and salad, and I had like it with the garlic sauce. It was pretty good. But chances are tonight I might cheat a little bit again tonight. Maybe I don't know. I might get Snack Shack again. Just today and tomorrow I'll be serious. I'll just eat one plate, 1 meal at home tomorrow. I might get Snack Shack today, maybe. I don't know. The hot dogs, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't. It's fattening, right? Because right now I gained a little bit of weight. I'm 262. Went from 258 to 262. I gained a little bit of weight, obviously. Now I'll be back to like, because I blew quite a bit of my savings this paycheck, because all my money went towards my bike. Once I get my checks, I'll be up to like 750 saved, and I gotta start being. But next paycheck, I don't have to fix my bike. I can save more money after next paycheck. Obviously, I should be at 1,000 plus the paycheck after my next paycheck. 1,000 plus saved. Yeah. Sidetracking. So, Ivan, what's the one thing you struggle with screenwriting? Just the formatting of it. The formatting structure is a bit confusing for me. So I have to really memorize that. But what I'm going to do is to make it easier for me and Peter. Peter knows about the screenwriting structuring, obviously, the format. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a software engineer design a screenwriting program software for me where the formatting is already done for me. I just fill in the blanks. You have descriptions, you have exterior, interior, fade in, fade out, the dialogue, descriptions. You know what I'm saying? That way it's easy for me and Peter when we write the screenplay. I want you to design a screenwriting software for me where the formatting is already done for me. That way I don't have to worry about being confused about the formatting stuff. That's the only thing that I struggle with. But in terms of the creativity, that I don't struggle with because I'm a creative genius. I know how to tell good stories. I'm sorry. But I need Peter helping me out. I need help. I don't want to write. I don't want to do the one man show like George Lucas. In my opinion, when you write a screenplay, you should co-write it. Have someone help you write it. Sarah? Yeah. Peter has a lot of good ideas. I have a lot of good ideas, and we incorporate it into the story. Sarah? Yeah. And Peter worked hard because I paid him his 10 million bonus, right? For pre-production. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. I made 10 for the whole 3 movies, Ivan. For writing and directing and everything. And you're paying me that just for pre-production? I'm like, yeah, please. Holy shit, that's a lot of gold, Ivan, I know. $10 million is a good deal for Peter for pre-production, right? 3 years of pre-production. Then he gets his 65 mil during, I don't know, the 10 months of shooting, production. And he gets another 10 million bonus for post-production. Peter's like, Ivan, are you going to pay for post-production? I'm like, Peter, the 10 million bonus is your salary for post-production. And for post-production, you're barely even working. You're just consulting, and that's it. Sitting down, watching, and consulting. Peter will have to consult, obviously, because he'll be telling the guys what he wants done for the movie, obviously. Peter Jackson, when he's watching post-production. Sarah? And he gets the 700 million, if I make like my 12, right? 700 million of the film profits, and he gets 200 million for the game, 200 million for the merch profits. That's a good deal for Peter. He signed as a 1.4 billion deal, 1.1 billion Canadian deal, 1.4 billion deal in his New Zealand money. Peter, that's a massive contract for Peter. All right, what about double that? I'm like, Peter, I'm not gonna pay you a $3 million deal. You're crazy. You're ripping me off. I'm not gonna pay you that. Stop being greedy, Sarah. This is Ivan. This is more than what I made for the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. I know. This is more than what I made for the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, Peter. Massive contract. I'm gonna make coffee in a sec, guys. Get some more coffee upstairs. I want to drink my beer, but I want to save my 3 beers for later. Obviously. Some Sarah. Alright, how long do you think it'll take for you to write the screenplay? Well, let's say me and Peter, we write 3 pages a day. 3 pages a day, so 3 pages a day, so 3 times 30. That's 90 pages of screenwriting in a month. Let's say it takes us 5 months to write the screenplay. 450 pages. Yeah, we'll be done the script in a good, 6 months. Xanus will probably be about a 500-something page script for the 3 volumes around there. Because you're looking at long movies. And me and Peter, we don't have to worry about the time constraints at the theaters because I'm not releasing my movies at the theaters. My movies are straight to 4K Blu-ray, hence me and Peter don't have to worry about the time constraints. So, Sarah? Yeah, because my company is straight to 4K Blu-ray, direct to 4K Blu-ray. It's not released at the theaters. So it'll take me and Peter maybe 5 months, 6 months to write the screenplay, but then we're going to be doing revisions. But chances are we're going to be doing minor revisions. We have to go over the whole screenplay, and stuff we should change, we change. But it's probably minor revisions. Maybe 30 pages of revisions, and that's it. Because if you follow the Xanus book, you're going to get a masterpiece of a screenplay. So it won't take me and Peter that long. Maybe 6.5, 7 months to write the screenplay. We're done. Because Peter, I don't want to fly in the actors until the screenplay is finished. The concept arts have to be finished, and the screenplay has to be finished. Yeah, we have to know what the world looks like, the demonic characters look like, and everything. We have to finish the screenplay. But to take the stress off Peter, work on it for maybe 3 hours a day. We lock ourselves in my office. We work on it for 3 hours a day. That way you don't put stress on Peter. You don't want to do a thing when you work on the screenplay all day. You're going to put stress on Peter if you do that. We'll finish the script faster, but you're going to put pressure on Peter because when he takes his notes, if you work on the screenplay all day, you'll be writing a good maybe 10, 12, 13 pages a day. So Peter taking notes for 13 pages every night will take him a long time, and you're going to stress him out. So to take the stress off him, I know I'm doing. We work on it for maybe 3 hours a day. We write maybe 3.5 pages. That's not stressing for Peter when he takes his notes to get a motor in his hotel room. Sarah? And that way I'm not stressed out either. We also have to do concept arts. Concept arts are very important. We have to build. Concept arts is the foundation of your world building, man. Your demonic characters, your clothing, your weapons, your armor, your landscapes, your world building. Very important. That's why concert arts are very important too. We have to do concert arts in the afternoon. Sarah? Yeah. Here's Ivan. This is fun. I'm having a blast working on the concert arts. Yeah, the concert arts will be very fun. Because John and Ali are going to draw the demonic characters of Eratat and Faful and Morale and Ephesus of the devil wolves, devil bats. What do the wolves look like? The bats look like? What does the whirlwind look like? Yeah, you see Xanus is something like beautiful like Rivendell. Sapphish is like Minas Tirith. Cyrus is kind of like the Shire. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, me, Peter, and VJ, we're going to have a blast doing the concert arts. Because Ivan, this is fun. I'm having a blast working on the movie. I know, VJ, we're having a blast. Even though it's dirty, we're having a blast working on the movie. Because we know the whole world's buzzing about the movie. And they're tuning into our website and everything. And hence why Peter and all are going to have a blast. I'm like, Peter, are you more excited for my movie than Lord of the Rings? Ivan, are you fucking kidding me? I'm way more excited for your movie than I was Lord of the Rings. Ivan, fuck Bob and Shane, by the way, Ivan. Yeah, Peter might tell me that. Those guys owe me money, Ivan. They only paid me $250 million, Ivan. You signed me to like a 1.1 billion deal in Canadian dollar, which is like $1.4 million. You gave me an unlimited like $2.4 million budget. I have $800 million per volume, $500 towards visual effects and special effects, $220 million towards conscious art, wanting to feature the mass, $60 million towards sepulting, $70 million towards actions. You gave me an unlimited budget, Ivan. Yeah, he was all happy. Gave him unlimited budget. Ivan, I can do unheard things with this kind of money, Ivan. For the battle scenes, for the horror, for the wobbling, like it's unlimited, Ivan. I know, Peter. We can build huge sets with this money, Ivan. I know, Peter. Huge sets, man, like 1.5 acre city. Yeah. Some Sarah? Yeah. 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 So VJ will be working hard too. Yeah, VJ, you're gonna see VJ. She's working hard too. She's helping me and Peter with the business calls in our office. You know what I'm saying, and she's helping us out with the concerts too. She's working hard. I told you, me and VJ are doing slack work compared to the 17, right? All VJ has to do is just help me and Peter with the main business calls and help us with the concerts, and that's it. VJ will not be working on the screenplay. I'm working on the screenplay with Peter. But VJ, you're more than welcome to give input. If you have good ideas for the movie, let us know. Let me and Peter know. And she'll obviously be helping us out a little bit with the screenplay, giving us maybe some good ideas she has in her mind. I don't need VJ's help, right? Me and Peter's enough, and Fran and Guillermo Toro. But VJ will be helping us with the business calls and helping us with the concerts. And we do the concerts in the concert room in a nice building. Yeah. VJ will be helping me and Peter with all that, right? And Peter will be trending with me too. Once I sign Peter and he's working on a movie, you get the news. Peter Jackson's a chosen director. He signed his 1.1 billion Canadian, 1.1 billion deal, which is 1.4 billion in his own money. All the directors like, holy shit, Peter signed a mega deal, a 1+ billion deal. Yeah, he signed a huge deal, Peter. Massive deal. So sorry. So Peter Jackson is a movie nerd. Yeah, he is. Like once he knows I gave him a $2.4 million budget, 800 million per volume, he becomes blind by his read for the movie Peter. Yeah, it's actually funny. All he cares about is his paycheck and the movie, right? He's a nerd, man. All directors and all are nerds, right? They want to make the best movie possible. And because I gave him on the budget, Peter, you're never going to hear Peter saying we couldn't afford to do this. Like everything he wants to do for the battle scenes, the ideas he has for the battle scenes and everything, we can afford it. Because I'm putting $500 million towards special effects and visual effects for the battle scenes, for the world building, and for the horror of the wolves and bats. Yeah, Ivan, Peter was up. Yeah, Ivan, I think it's smart to have Eratat the most horrific movie history. Make him as scary as possible. when we tell a powerful story. But I'm gonna tone down the sex scenes. I'm not gonna have full on nude sex scenes. People tell me I've been toned down the sex scenes, though the actors are comfortable. Yeah, I'm not a fan of full on nudes. So when John Boyega has sex with a woman, he's shirtless and he wears like these thin he wears these boxers. No, underwear. He wears an underwear. The woman wears like this bikini thing. Obviously. And I'll just tell the visual effects people, when you apply the visual effects towards it, it looks like they're naked, but they're not really naked. Watch Underwood Rise of Likings again. I know what I'm talking about. The sex is like that. They look naked, but they're not really naked. Not full-on nudes like Game of Thrones. That's crazy. No. That's a bit dirty. Yeah, it's rated R, but I'm going to tone down the sex, obviously. Oh, the actors are comfortable. I'm sorry. John, are you comfortable wearing underwear? Yeah, I'm comfortable wearing underwear. I'm not that comfortable being full-on nudes, Ivan. Yeah, it's not full-on nudes, John Boyega. You'll be wearing an underwear. Oh, he's comfortable, John Boyega. I'm sorry. I'll be wearing underwear. VJ wears her bikini. You know what I'm saying? Ariana Grande wears her bikini. Avon George wears his underwear. That way they're comfortable, the actors. Sorry. Yeah. After this, I'm going to take a nice hot shower. I'll enjoy showing you guys. My video did not take long to upload today. So yeah, the problem is now fixed, right? Yesterday it took me, for 2 days in a row, it took like an hour and 15 minutes for my video to get uploaded. Yesterday it took I think 3+ hours for my video to get uploaded. That's why I got to upload like 1 in the morning, yeah. Yeah. So you're going to have George. Yeah, I'm going to have George. Yeah, like my head of production has to create all the schedules for me, for the actors, for the crewmen, for me, Peter, and all of them. I want you creating the daily schedule, everything for the movie. It's dirty work, but I don't pay the head of production $2 million and $12 million of the film profits. It's like, oh, he has to work hard, man. Yeah. So Peter Jackson's agent will let Peter know the schedule and everything. Okay, work starts at 9. From 9 to 12 is script writing. And then 12 o'clock is lunch. And then afternoon is concerts. Monday to Thursday. And then Friday mornings we work on the screenplay from 9 to 12. Then afternoon it's business calls. So my idea is my plan is every Fridays in the afternoon we don't do the concerts. Me and Peter, we do the business calls in the afternoon for 4 hours, and the Monday to Thursday it is concerts. That way you balance it out. Because me, Vijay, and Peter also have to make the business calls, but because we don't have to make that much business calls, we only have to make business calls like once a week, me, Vijay, and Peter. Peter will be in the office with me to help me out with all of the main things for the movie. Yeah, Ivan, I know all the best stuff for your movie, Ivan. I know all the best comedies in the States, Ivan, that Hollywood uses for the movies. Yeah, and Peter helps me out with the calls for the film IMS cameras, the equipment for the cameras, the hotel party at Virgin Resort and Red Card event, the visual effects, technology, costumes, armor, and weapons machines for the mask, the food. We have to call the farms in Switzerland. We have to buy all the food for the buffet. Yeah, and Peter has to help me with the screenplay. He also has to help me sign the crewman first year, and as well as the stars. He has to help me out with payroll. He also has to help me keep track of the budget. Samsara? Yeah. There's a lot of money we'll be getting burned, man, during the 4 years. A lot of money will be getting burned. Because my budget's unlimited. Because I have no worry about your budget's unlimited. Yeah, it's unlimited, my budget. It's unlimited. $800 million, man. Unlimited. Not 800 for 3 movies. No, 800 per volume I'm making it for. Yeah. Because 8 times 3 is 24, so it's $800 million per volume, per movie. It's an unlimited budget, $500 million towards special effects and visual effects. That's why Peter Jackson's like, holy shit. I'm like, Peter, what kind of technology are we looking at with $500 million per volume? Peter's like, Ivan, you're looking at a revolutionary technology that will blow James Cameron's Avatar out of the water, Ivan. For Avatar, they only put maybe $70-80 million towards that, Ivan. 100 at most. And you're putting $500 million for visual effects and special effects per volume. Ivan, you're looking at a beautiful world. You're looking at amazing battle scenes. I'll blow my hell. For Lord of the Rings, I only put like $35-40 million, $35 million towards special effects, Ivan. And the Helmsley War was amazing. Yeah, Helmsley War was amazing, and they only put maybe $35 million towards that. And the other battle scenes right now. And the world building. That's why Peter Jackson's all shocked. Shocked, yeah. 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 So you'll have tea for Peter. Yeah, I heard Peter likes drinking tea. So I'll buy tea for Peter. And then we lock ourselves in my office every morning and we work on the screenplay for 3 hours straight. But during the 3 hours, I can give everyone a good, like, maybe 1 50-minute break, 2 50-minute breaks. 1 50-minute break is good enough, right? During the 3 hours. And lunchtime, everyone gets a 1 hour break. So Peter, the limo driver takes him, Fran, and all them to the buffet restaurant. They eat their food. Now, at 1 o'clock, you have to be back in the office. And we're going to be in the other building doing the concerts with John Howe and Alan Lee. Building the world of the North, the South, all the lands. What kind of clothes do the characters wear in the movie? What kind of weapons are we looking at for the bats? I want the bats to have different weapons than the wolves. The humans have different weapons than the wolves and the bats. Yeah. Here's Ivan Man. You're looking at a match, man. This is going to be better than my Lord of the Rings, Ivan Man. This is going to be a deep, powerful story. I know, Ivan. Seriously, man. I read your book, man. If you adapt that, you're looking at a better movie trilogy than my Lord of the Rings, man. Lord of the Rings is a masterpiece. Yeah, Lord of the Rings is a masterpiece, man. In my opinion, the best movie trilogy ever made. And Xanus will top that. Something deep, man. Yeah. Sarah? I'm off again tomorrow, so tomorrow I'll make a video for you guys again in the morning. And then Wednesday I'll make a video after my shift at Dinty's. I work at Dinty's on Wednesday. And I get Thursday off again. I asked my boss for more hours, but the other dishwasher works 5 days and I work 3 days. So he's making all the money and I'm making the peanuts, obviously. That's why I'm looking for another job. Because Cocoa Food, I don't make enough money there. I only make like $600 now. 3 days a week is only like a $600 paycheck. I want to at least make my $900, right? My 800 plus, but yeah. Sidetracking. Yeah. Are you gonna reread that screenwriting book, Ivan? Yes, I will. When I meet Vijay, I'm gonna reread it again. But I already know how to write a screenplay. Like the creativity part, I don't struggle with. I'm a creative genius. I wrote the Xanus book. It's the formatting thing that's a bit confusing for me. That's why I got to reread that book. But Peter, I'm gonna have the software engineer design a screenwriting program for me, whereby it's already all the formatting is already done for me in the program. Oh, it's easier for me and Peter. But Peter knows about the formatting stuff, so he'll take that stress off me. You know, if I know how the formatting thing works, he helps me out with that, obviously. Yeah, but the creative stuff, that's where I shine. That's what I'm good at, obviously. Yeah. Yeah. Will you write it on a notebook, Ivan? No, I'll just write it on my computer. There's no point of hiring a writer to write it for you. Just write it on the computer. It's easier that way, right? But I focus more when I write on a notebook than I do on a computer. That's the thing, though. Well, just write it on the computer. It's easier that way. On my computer in my office. That's where we're going to write the screenplay, me and Peter. Or Mel Gibson and Ronnie Wallace if I choose Mel Gibson, right? Yeah. Some Sarah? I'm gonna get my coffee soon, guys. In a good 40 minutes, I'll get my coffee upstairs. And so all the movie puns are gonna be like, let's see if Ivan made the right choice choosing Peter Jackson or Mel Gibson, and let's see if Ivan's movie is good. Hopefully, Ivan writes a good screenplay. But we read his book, and his book was a masterpiece. The whole world will be one. Okay, let's see how good Ivan's book really is. You read it, you're blown away. It's a masterpiece. Can Ivan adapt an amazing movie? I end up adapting an amazing movie. The movie ends up being even better than the book because I'm bringing the world into life, the demonic characters, and I'm acting as Prince Tacitus. The movie will be a masterpiece. Yeah. So we're making a lot of changes. Yeah, I'm gonna be making quite a bit of changes to the movie, obviously. But I don't want to do drastic changes whereby you're actually affecting the plot, like Peter did for his adaptation for Lord of the Rings. Because in the book, Aragorn is not reluctant to become king. Obviously, he's a ranger, but he's not reluctant on being king. In the movie, Peter Jackson made that drastic change whereby Aragorn is reluctant to be king. And Faramir is tempted by the ring, whereas in the book, he's not tempted by the ring, Faramir. Sam does not send Frodo home. Frodo does not send Sam home in the book when you read it, if I remember. Yeah, Peter made a lot of changes where it's actually affecting the plot of the story. And he did a thing whereby he takes dialogue from another book and puts it in a different book. And he takes dialogue that a character spoke in one scene and he applies it to another character. I don't want you doing that for my book, Peter. Yeah, for Lord of the Rings, I have to do that, man. It's a fucking hassle to do with that, man. Yeah, but for my book, I don't want you doing that, Peter. I don't want you doing that drastic change whereby you're affecting the plot. Don't make drastic changes, Peter, whereby you're affecting the plot of my story. You're gonna ruin my story. You're gonna ruin my story, Peter. I'm sorry. Xanus is a special story. If you tamper with it too much, you can ruin the story. I don't want you ruining my masterpiece, Peter. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm very overprotective of my Xanus story. It's my baby. I wrote that, man. It's a masterpiece. That's why I don't want to sell. I don't want anyone touching my story or touching my money, right? Either. I don't want anyone touching my story. At the same time, I don't want anyone touching my money. That's why I have my keys. That way the gates don't do me. They don't steal my money. The money off the books for me, BJ. It's not for you. Zero. You're not touching down my money. Yeah. Yeah. So if you're not going to film Xanus in New Zealand, no. If you film Xanus in New Zealand, you're going to get similar landscapes to Lord of the Rings. The world will look pretty similar. That's why I don't want to film there. Had Lord of the Rings not been filmed in New Zealand, I would have chosen New Zealand to film it because New Zealand has a lot of wilderness. New Zealand has more wilderness than even Switzerland. But I want to film Xanus in Switzerland. That's why me, Peter, and Guillermo Toro and VJ, we have to go land scouting. We have to scout out locations. What I'll do is I'll show Peter drone footages on YouTube of Switzerland, Norway, Ireland, all those places, and we decide what place is the best. But I think Switzerland's the best to film Xanus. I'm going to film it in Switzerland, the wilderness in Switzerland, obviously. And some scenes in studio, obviously, right? Like interior scenes and everything, yeah. I'm going to build all the sets there for the movie, yeah. So, Sarah? Uh, yeah. So you're not going to follow the action scenes word to word. No, the action scenes, we can make up our own stuff for that, obviously. You don't have to follow the action scenes in your book word to word, right? Because, because describing action in a book is not really similar to an adaptation, a movie adaptation. So I'll be adding and changing quite a bit of stuff to the action. I'm not going to follow the action word to word. Like in the book, Tactics do flips and everything when they fight. In the movie, they don't do any flips. Otherwise, it'll be a bit silly like Star Wars, right? See, Star Wars, it works for that, but it doesn't work for a fantasy. Doing flips and everything in a fantasy movie doesn't really work. But like Tactics are bad as far as like things, something like Aragon on steroids. They're amazing fighters. They're trained the Zane arts. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry. Like, give me a second. I was gonna go upstairs and get a coffee. I'll be back in a second. Here we don't want to wait off alone. Alrighty, guys, I'm back. Went upstairs to get my coffee. Yeah. If you're not gonna do any prequels, no. Xanus is the kind of story where you leave it alone, don't touch it. Because if you make prequels, you can perhaps ruin the story. If I wrote the prequels, they'd still be masterpieces. I don't think they'll be as good as the original, but like you can easily do a story about Takis the First, Eratat 9th generation. You can do a story about Assidious the first king. You can easily do a story with Ephesus if you want. Ariad, Eratat's father, Job, Eli, and Cornelius in their younger days, and also a story about Sirius and Papyri. I'm not going to do that. As for Xanus, is a story you should not touch. Leave it alone. And I don't want to film for like 10, 11 months ever again. After Xanus, I'm never doing that ever again, man. I'm never going to film a movie back to back. Yeah, like all my other movies after Xanus will only take like 3. The Great Escape will take maybe 4 months to film and we're done, right? 4 months of filming, 3.5, 4 months of filming, we're done. Yeah. Maybe 5 months perhaps, but The Great Escape should take maybe 4.5 months. 4 months, and we're in 4.5 months, we're done filming the movie. And it's more slack work, right? Yeah, Keanu Reeves and all of them work for 4 months. They get their check, obviously, and then we go world touring for that, and they get their check for that. Post-production will only take maybe 5 months for The Great Escape. And I ended off the red card event, and then the movie gets released, and they get their royalty check, and yeah, and the journey's over. The Great Escape is a shorter project, obviously, where Xanus is 5 years. Long project. Samsara. Fuck, it's hot in here. I'm gonna take a nice hot shower. Yeah, after this. Sorry, a nice cold shower. Not hot shower, it's fucking humid, yeah. Yeah. Means Ivan, I can't wait for Olithia, Ivan. I know, I'm excited too. So Ivan, I can't wait to play Olithia. Oh my god, that's my dream, Ivan, yeah. But yeah, VJ, like no more shitty movies in Hollywood. You finally get to do a big budget movie with me, man. And we're funding it with our own money, man. We're the boss. You don't have to worry about the gatekeepers in Hollywood, VJ. For the auditions and everything, we're the boss, man, yeah. So in the movie, you're going to put Takis on trial? Yes. In the book, Takis is not on trial. In the book, they arrest Takis in his chambers right there and then. They interrogate him right there and then in his room. My idea for the movies, they come into his room, and Takis is like, what's going on? And Eli's like, you're under arrest. He's like, for what? And they take him, and he's on trial with Sirius and Papyri. And after he's found guilty at the trial, then they seize him and throw him in a dungeon. Whereas for the book, they arrest him right in his chambers. I'll have him on trial in the movie to make it more interesting, obviously. People will be like, yeah, if it's better if you have him on trial like Jesus, it makes the story more interesting. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with adding stuff, Peter, and making some changes here and there, but don't do drastic changes like you did for Lord of the Rings, man. Or about you're affecting the plot, right? Because Peter made such drastic changes to Lord of the Rings, it did affect the plot a little bit. A little bit. He steered away from Tolkien's book like crazy, Peter. He made a lot of changes. It's like watching a different medium, man. Yeah. Well, movies is a different medium than books, obviously, but read the books and watch the movies. You see a lot of differences, man. The movies are nothing like the book. It's so different. Yeah, so many changes Peter made, man. Yeah. He honored Tolkien in terms of his themes of the main purpose of the story for all the story. But in terms of following the story page by page, Peter was not that faithful. He made a lot of changes and he cut out a lot of stuff too. A lot of characters, even lands he cut out too. He cut out a lot of scenes, like 80% of the scenes in the book he cut out. He made a lot of changes, Peter, yeah, to the movie adaptation. So I'm sorry, I think can I have more of that box set item? I'm like, no, Peter, I'm not paying you more. Stop being greedy, man, yeah. Yeah. Peter's like, Ivan, straight to 4K Blu-ray, huh? Ivan, 4K Blu-ray's Dolby Vision, Dolby Sound, Ivan. You're releasing Xanus on 4K Blu-ray, like a nice like steelbook box set. I'm like, yeah, Peter's like, holy shit. Your copy sound notch, a beautiful box set. I'm like, yeah, Peter's like, holy shit, Ivan. He's like, Ivan, with this technology and the 4K Blu-ray effect on top of that, and the theater system at home, because everyone will buy a theater system, obviously. They're gonna follow my advice. You're looking at an unheard experience at home, Ivan. Like, yeah, it's not the theaters, but man, you're looking at an unheard experience at home. Yes, that's why I recommend, Peter, you put money into an IMAX theater. For 500 grand, you can build your IMAX theater in your house, Peter. Have like 10 seats in there, a theater room, 10 seats in there. Watch it with your family. Yeah, I think I might build that IMAX theater too. He puts like 500,000 towards it, and he gets an unheard of experience at home. And all the Hollywood actors are going to put money into a theater system too, because they want to get the theatrical experience at home, obviously. Yeah. He's like, your company blows out of the water. 4K Blu-ray, director of 4K Blu-ray. I'm like, yeah, Peter. He's like, holy shit. Your company's top notch. I know, Peter. I mean, can I get a bit more of that box set, Ivan? I'm like, no, Peter. I'm not paying more money. Stop being greedy. I'm just messing with the money. But I want to make a chunk of that. I know, Peter, you're greedy, but I'm not paying more money. This is more than what you made for the Hobbit Lord of the Rings combined. Stop being greedy, Peter. I'm sorry. It's a delight. Sign me up. That's a lot of gold, Ivan. I know, Peter. It's a lot of gold. You have, Peter? I don't have that contract. Thank you. You're very generous. That's a lot of gold, Ivan. I know, Peter. We're walking away, I don't know, 700 million in your bank after taxes. That's a lot of money for 5 years of work. A $700 million check in your bank for 5 years of work, I think is a good deal, Peter. Yeah, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of gold, Ivan. Yeah, Peter. Stop being greedy. Yeah. 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 Will your movie be longer than Lord of the Rings, Ivan? Yes, it will, because I'm going to be following my book like page by page. Yeah, because Peter Jackson will tell me, Ivan, for your story, we can actually follow page by page. It works because your story is entertaining and you're constantly keeping the story pacing. All your chapters are pacing chapters, whereas Lord of the Rings is not like that. You have like I don't know, like a few chapters of boredom, and it paces up a little bit, and you have another few chapters of boredom. My whole book is constant pacing. That's why we can actually follow it page by page, my book. But while we're following page by page, we'll be adding stuff and changing some of it to make it more better, obviously. Some Sarah. And I write an amazing script with Peter, Fran, and Guillermo del Toro. Or Mel Gibson and Randy Wallace if I choose Mel, right? I want to have Randy Wallace come on board if I choose Mel, and he's going to help me co-write the screenplay. He wrote Braveheart, and I'm Passion of the Christ with Mel Gibson, obviously. That's why Randy Wallace is also good for my Xanus movie if I choose Mel Gibson. Because I might choose Mel for Peter, but I might perhaps even go for Mel. I talk about Peter more, but somebody tells me I might choose Mel over Peter. I think Mel might make the better movie, but we'll see what happens. You have to test our creativity. Peter and Mel Gibson, right? Yeah. And Pedro Pascal is good for Cornelius. I'll have him compete with Carl Urban and the other black guy who was in Zoo. You can have Pedro Pascal compete for the role of Cornelius. So when Pedro Pascal's agent calls my office, I'll tell him, yeah, Ivan's interested in Pedro Pascal for Cornelius, but he has to compete with the other actors. Pedro Pascal is worth $10 million now. By then, he might be worth his $20 million. So you can pay him. Cornelius is a supporting character. You can pay Pedro Pascal his $8 million for his base. That's good. That's good contract for him. He makes like his $3 in Hollywood. You can give him his $9 million the royalties. 10. If he's worth 20, give him $10 million the royalties. That's an $18 million deal for Pedro Pascal. You can pay him his $2 million for the game. He's a smaller A-lister. His $2 million for the game, and he gets like $700K for the merch. That's a good deal. He signed like a $21 million deal, Pedro Pascal. Massive contract for him. That's like $15 million in American money, around there. So he's walking away with like 7-something million, 8 million in his bank. It's a lot of money for Pedro Pascal. He doesn't make that out. He makes like his 3.5 in Hollywood, Pedro Pascal, right? Yeah, good deal for him, obviously. He's also good too, and because he's a smaller A-lister, he'll build more buzz. But Carl Urban is bigger than Pedro Pascal. He's worth his 20 million, obviously. So by then, Carl Urban might be worth maybe 25, 26 million. So yeah, I'm not going any higher than 8 for Carl Urban because Cornelius is a supporting character. But if he's worth like 25 million, I can give him like a 10.5, 10.8, 11 million royalties. Carl Urban, even 11.5 million royalties. Carl Urban, that's a good deal for him, obviously. Because Carl Urban's a small A, so I thought last time I checked, he was worth 4 a few years ago, but now his net worth jumped to 20 million. Or it was a different website. Just like with Matt Damon, one section said he was worth 55. I'm like, that can't be right. And the other section said 170 million. I'm like, okay, that's right. Yeah, because I knew Matt Damon was a bigger A, so why is he only worth 55 million? It was another website, obviously. He's worth 170 million, Matt Damon. Yeah. Some Sarah. That's my point. Have Pedro Pascal compete with Carl Urban. Carl Urban's my first choice, but you have him compete with Pedro Pascal and the Anonzo actor. His name's Anonzo something. He's the black guy who was in Zoo. And the gray, yeah, you have him compete with Carl Urban and Pedro Pascal for the role of Cornelius. Because you can picture Pedro Pascal as Cornelius the blacksmith, right? He's also a pretty buff. He's a pretty big guy. Yeah, he's good for Cornelius too, Pedro Pascal. For the Xanus movie, yeah. Because he was amazing in Gladiator 2, right? He had an amazing performance. That's why I think he's really good for Cornelius. But Pedro Pascal kind of has that look of a warrior, obviously. Here's the idea, we can change it. We can have him be a northern like Peter, man. Like, you're actually pissing me off. I don't want you making drastic changes in my story, man. No. Cornelius is not a northern Peter. He's a southern. I don't want you having... Hence why I'm going to co-write with Peter. That way I keep him in check. He doesn't make all these drastic changes to my story. If you have Cornelius be a northern Peter, we have to... You're now contradicting the plot. We have to make a lot of changes, which could ruin the story. Cornelius is a southern. He's Eli's right-hand man, captain of the Lazarus. He's not a northern. He's a southern. We could change it. I'm like, Peter, you're pissing me off. We're not changing that, Sarah. I know what I'm doing. I'm like, Peter... You may have more experience than me, but you did not write my book. I wrote it. I know what's best for my story more than you. I wrote the fucking thing. I know my book inside and out. I don't want you... I forget a few things. I don't want you, making drastic changes to my story. You know, read my story, Peter. I'm sorry. Because there's nothing worse than giving Peter the keys to the kingdom for your movie. He has full control over the screenplay, and then him, Fran, and Guillermo del Toro, I read the screenplay, and it's a lot different from my book. I'm like, whoa, Peter, hold your horses here, man. Why is this so different from my book? Why is Cornelius a northern? Why are the ancestors appearing in physical form? Why are the women fighting? What are you doing? You're contradicting my story, Peter, and I'm pissed off. That's why I want to write it with Peter. Oh, we have the same vision. He doesn't make drastic changes to my story. But because Peter's gifted and talented, even if he made drastic changes to my story, it'd still be a masterpiece. But he would piss off a lot of fans if he made drastic changes like that, right? Like, what the fuck? This is nothing like the book, man. Peter made a lot of changes, yeah. Don't make drastic changes to the story, Peter. Follow the story. The screenplay, when we write the screenplay, some Sarah. Yeah, you have to tell me that the way he knows. Ivan. So Ivan, you'll be adding more scenes. Yeah, like the scene when Tactus and Asnois are talking to the woman, you know what I'm saying? When Al is just a child, Ale is not served. We're not bringing those days because we drank juice of age. Juice, not ale. I can say whatever I like. I'm going to add more stuff to that scene to make it more interesting. Because that's the only scene you get when they have memories of when they're kids. No. There's other scenes too in Volume 3, but like that scene there is a big scene of them having memories when they're kids. I'm going to add some more dog to make it more interesting. The woman talks to Tactus and Asnois a bit more. Obviously. People talk about, that's a good scene, like, you know what I'm saying? They have a banquet hall celebration after the horse race. And that scene shows how Tactus and Asnois are now grown up and they're drinking ale with Maramus and them, yes. And now they're talking to these women. These slutty women. They're a little bit of slutty women, obviously. And yo, Ivan, that's cool. Darling, bring me a cup of wine. All I think ever told is to Tactus on why he became at Xanus. To Tactus, like that scene Return of the King. Because Ivan, man, you're looking at a masterpiece, man. A banquet hall scene after the horse race. Oh my god, he's like, holy shit. And after that, you have the big climax, in that chapter. I'm like, yeah, he's like, Ivan, man, you're looking at a masterpiece. This is where Lord of the Rings are. I know, but he's where Lord of the Rings. It's where Lord of the Rings, Peter. Don't say, yeah, it's a masterpiece. Yeah, man. Where Lord of the Rings. Yeah, man. He's like, ready, set, action. You know what I'm saying? Peter Jackson, yeah, he sits on his director chair. He's like, ready, set, action. Okay, Ivan tried to be a little bit more cocky, more confident. Okay. And the next scene, I'm cocky and confident. I destroy the role of Tactus. People will tell me, yeah, Ivan, for Volume 1 and most of Volume 2, I want you to be arrogant and cocky. Don't act mature, act arrogant and cocky. Okay, Peter, I see what you're saying. Yeah. I do my thing and I destroy the role. Ivan, that's good enough. That's good, Ivan. I'm saying, yeah, it's easy for me. Yeah, Vijay, that's good enough. Yeah, me and Vijay, it's easy for us because me and Vijay are special. Yeah. So, Sarah. And when Peter directs the large crowds for the extras and all stuff, you have to give him the microphone. It's not called a microphone. What's that thing called? You know the thing that you hold and you speak and the sound like emanates all over the place? What's it called again? Stereophone or something like that? Yeah, the thing where you speak and you yell through it and they hear you. Yeah, Peter will have to have that and get a Motora when they direct the large crowds, obviously. Because I have a lot of big gathering scenes. That's why I have to put a good like 70 million towards extras. Because they're going to drain my budget, man. They're going to cost me tens of millions. I can easily afford it. My budget's huge. Yeah. Here's for Lord of the Rings, we only had like 200 extras, Ivan. Like, we can afford to have a gathering of 15,000 fans, 15,000 crowds of people in Switzerland, and 5,000 for the Exodus. We can easily afford it. Yeah. But I have to put a good like 70, 75 million towards extras. Because they're going to cost me a lot of money, like tens of millions. I calculated for the Exodus scene might take maybe a month to film. So, yeah, 5,000 times 180 is what? That's 900,000. So let's say we film it for 1 month. 900,000 times 30 is $27 million. That's why I have to put like 70. Yeah, you gotta put a good like Because I'm making it for 800, I can put a good 75 million towards extras. Yeah, Piers the Ivan, you gotta put like 75 million towards extras back if you want to afford that. Like the Exodus scene and the end war scene will cost you easily a good like 55 million, 60 million, whereas all the other stuff is cheaper. Yeah. I'll put a good maybe I have to put more, maybe 80 million towards extras. Yeah. Around there. I want to afford it. Even 50 million is not enough. Because the Exodus scene might take a month to film, right? It took them 3 months to film the Helm's Deep War. It might take us maybe 2.5 months to film the war. So you have to put like, 80 million, 85 million towards extras around there. Here's Ivan, that's enough. And if we run out of money, I can just put money into the budget. It's not a big deal, right? Yeah, I'll put a good 80 million towards extras. Because they're going to cost me a lot of money, man. They're expensive. 27 million bucks we film for 1 month. But chances are we might film maybe 2.5, 3 weeks. It costs me maybe $18 million. It's expensive, man. Yeah, they're expensive, the extras. Because Ivan, like, never in movie history did we ever have an extras like this, man. Hollywood can't afford this. They have like 200 extras and they apply visual effects towards it, Ivan. I know, Peter. Your company blows out of the water, man. This is going to be a powerful story. Burn all the rings out. I know, Peter. Burn all the rings. Masterpiece. And that's why people have small because I gave them all in the budget. We have enough money for the extras, for the large crowds, the Exodus. Like, you're actually going to see 5,000 extras in the movie. It's not special effects, man. Yeah. Like Prince of Egypt. You have the huge war in the end, the battle scenes out, blow helms out of the water. You have the whirlwind, better than Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit and Pandora. You have the horror of the demonic characters. Peter's like, all right, we can afford everything we want to do, Ivan. I know, Peter. You gave me an unlimited budget, Ivan. Yeah, he's all happy. I gave him unlimited budget. Yeah. And Peter won't be lost when he directs the movie because he took his notes. We wrote the screenplay together, so we have the same vision. And Peter took his notes with Guillermo del Toro. Hence, him and Guillermo del Toro will not be lost because they have ideas for every scene. They wrote their notes. They have a huge notebook of all their notes. They study their notes and they're prepped for the movie. Yeah. Like when Peter directed Lord of the Rings, he was all prepped. Because they had 3 years of pre-production before they rolled the cameras. Whereas for The Hobbit, Warner Bros. Only gave Peter 5 months to prep, hence why he had to wing it. And that's how you know Peter's talented, because for a guy who winged it, he did a good job, as the Hobbit movies are pretty good movies. The first 2 movies are pretty good movies. 7 out of 10 movies they're good movies. The Hobbit, Unexpected Journey, and Death and Smaug are good movies. They're not like masterpieces like Lord of the Rings, they're like a 6.8, 7 out of 10, but they're good movies, pretty good. Was the third movie was a crapshoot, obviously, and Peter's winging it caught up to him, obviously. That's where you can tell Peter's winging it caught up to him in Battle of Armies. The Battle of Armies was not that good, obviously, and the war was horrible. That's why I don't want digital film cameras, Peter. I don't want full CGI. Otherwise, we're going to get that Hobbit look. I don't want that Hobbit look for my movie. I want the Lord of the Rings look. I want more of the Lord of the Rings look. But Lord of the Rings, it looks also a little bit too natural. I want to add a lot of visual effects towards it to make the world look amazing, but we mix it with the sapling and the wilderness of Switzerland. Some sound. So Peter's Ivan, so for the war you want something like Helm's Deep. Yes, it looks like Helm's Deep, but I don't want the wolves looking too natural too at the same time, right? Like your orcs in Lord of the Rings. I want them looking like a bit amazing. That's why I'm going to design the best mask. And then when we apply the visual effects and special effects towards it, they're doubles, they look more amazing. So Ivan, you want the balance, they wear the mask, and you apply the hundreds of millions towards visual effects. I'm like, yes, Peter. You don't want full CGI to Ivan? I'm like, no. Otherwise, you're going to get the Azog look. I don't like that look, Peter. You compare the orcs in The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, you see a huge difference. The Hobbit orcs look more fake and computery, man. I don't want that look for the eagles and crows is fine. They can be full CGI characters. The jaguars and mosquitoes, full CGI. The white stags and everything, full CGI. But the wolves and bats, I don't want them full CGI, Peter. They wear the costume. And you apply the visual effects towards that. The hundreds of millions of visual effects, and they're doubles. Sarah? Yeah. And once the script is now done, we did our revisions, I'm gonna do a party with Peter in my yacht. Peter's like, Ivan, the script is done. And you see the documentary, script finished. They write the credits, script is now done. And they staple it, they stamp it, and like the Xanus script is done, the 3 volumes are done. I'm gonna tell the docu, write the credits down. Okay, Ivan, yeah. I do a party with Peter, which I'm most likely gonna film, right? In my yacht. Okay, Peter, we finished the screenplay, let's celebrate. And we do a party in my yacht with him, we get him out to a friend. And I'll do like a barbecue. I'll have them make hamburgers and all that stuff from Costco. Costco has amazing hamburgers. We do a party with Peter and all of them in my nice yacht. We drive in the ocean, yeah. Please, Ivan, your company blows out of the water, man. Like, I'm having all these nice perks and everything too, partying up in your $100 million yacht. I know. My company blows out of the water, yeah. Yeah. Peter, I hope the movie's good. Ivan, don't worry about it, man. If you follow your book, you're looking at a masterpiece, man. Ivan, this screenplay is just as good as My Lord of the Rings, if not better, Ivan. Ivan, your story's better than Jared Tolkien's Lord of the Rings, Ivan. This is going to be a better movie than My Lord of the Rings, and all, Peter. It's going to be better than Lord of the Rings. Masterpiece. Yeah. Some Sarah. So you're going to show John Howell and Peter what you want Airtime and the Wolves to like? Yes. I'm going to show them that devil being an Annabelle for Ephesus. But I want the bats 3 times scarier than that. I'm going to show them that video I keep showing you. I want the wolves looking like this. I also want someone looking like Pennywise the Clown. You have some different looks. Or you can do a hybrid. Okay, I want a hybrid of that video and Pennywise the Clown for Airtime. Don't copy it, make it original. How scary, Ivan? Make them as scary as you can possibly be, guys. Push it to the limit. Okay. And John Howell, they draw devils for the movie. Producer Ivan, that's a bit too scary, man. Like, that's really scary. Like, you want to create mass based off these demonic pictures here, and you want to apply $500 towards visuals, Ivan? That's way too scary, man. You're looking at demons, Ivan, like real devils. I'm like, yes, Peter, that way the story is amazing. It's a powerful story, and the world is hooked. And I tell a powerful story. I know what I'm doing. And that's why Xanus will have crazy worldwide buzz. Yeah. Once the world sees the demonic beings. Holy fucking shit, that's fucking scary, man. Yeah, man. It's a devil every time. Most favorite B movie history, right? In history, yeah. In the history of cinema. Yeah. That's fucking hot in here, huh? Yeah. 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 Man, I'm sweating balls. Yeah. Take a nice cold shower after this. Will you do your go-through series after this, Ivan? No, I'll start my go-through series tomorrow. Because I made 2 videos for you guys today. I don't feel like making 3 videos. I was gonna do my go-through series, but I decided to make a video here. It's more interesting because I actually talk more. Whereas my go-through series is just me going over my book and I make a few comments here and there. It's more boring. That's why I decided to make this video instead, right? I'll call this video Writing the Xanus Script. Yeah. Writing the Xanus Screenplay. The Xanus Script. Yeah. And once the screenplay is eventually done, I'm going to get my presidents to start printing. Okay, the printer is in your office, guys. You guys have to now print a good, I don't know, 35, 40, like, I don't know, like 550 scripts, which is dirty work, but I don't pay you all this money. It's like, oh, you have to work hard, right? So John Favreau, Peter Rice, if they're chosen, they have to print all the scripts before the stars fly, before I fly in the stars to sign the contract. So when the stars fly my private jet, the script will be in the plane on their seat, and they have to leave it there. Yeah. Because after you're drunk at the party, you might forget. You have to leave it on the plane, guys. Don't bring it with you. You can forget it and lose it. I don't want my script getting leaked. Some center. They get it with the envelope and everything. Yeah, they have an envelope. They put the script in the envelope, and you have the actor's name and everything, like John Boyega's script, Yvonne Joje's script. Yeah, they get their own nice scripts, and they have to practice their lines. Very important. Yeah. I know you guys are excited in the movie, but when you fly on a private jet to sign your contracts, Xanus stars, but leave your scripts on the plane, guys. Don't bring it with you. Whereas Yvonne Jojo, I'll have the limo driver give him his script in his apartment. When he picks him up in his apartment, he goes to his apartment, he knocks on his door. He's like, hey, it's such and such from Sky Source. We're coming to pick you up to sign your contracts. Here's your screenplay. And Yvonne Jojo leaves the screenplay in his apartment. He can't bring it with him. Yeah, the bosses say you can't bring your screenplay with you. You have to leave it in your apartment, Yvonne Jojo. He's like, okay. The way you don't forget is you're gonna get drunk at Ivan's house after you sign your contracts, and Peter and BJ and Ivan take you out to dinner. I'm sorry. Yeah. Peter's like, Ivan, cheers, and then the yacht party after we finish writing the screenplay, we're gonna make an amazing movie together. We give it cheers. Yeah. To success, to Xanus, to success, to Xanus. Yeah. Barry Osborne, yeah, give a toast, yeah. Barry Osborne, I'll pay him like $1 million as my producer. That's a good deal for him. For Lord of the Rings, he probably made like a couple $100,000, maybe $200K for Lord of the Rings. I'll pay Barry Osborne $1 million for the 4 years of Xanus. Yeah. That's a good paycheck for him. But he doesn't get a piece of the royalties or anything like that. He's my assistant producer. He's not that big either, right? Yeah. Yeah. I think Xanus will blow Lord of the Rings out of the water. No, no, no. It won't blow out of the water. Lord of the Rings is a fucking masterpiece, man. Very tough to talk. It'll be a bit better, but it's not going to blow out of the water, right? Lord of the Rings will almost be as good as Xanus. But my movie will beat it. It's a more powerful story, but it won't blow it out of the water. Because Lord of the Rings is a fucking masterpiece, man. It's a fucking amazing movie, yeah. Like, Lord of the Rings will have more richer speech than Xanus. Xanus has very rich speech too, as you guys read my book. It's not as deep and rich. Like, Lord of the Rings, like, J.R.R. Tolkien's writing is so rich. It's so beautifully written. It's very, very rich, his writing, man. It's so rich. Because J.R.R. Tolkien was an English professor at Oxford University. He was a master of the English language. That's why his book is beautifully poetically written, obviously. Very, very rich words. Like, shields shall be splintered, swords shall be shaken, whatever it is. A sword day, I read day, ere the sun rises. Like, that's fucking deep. Like, my book is not as deep as that, right? But the story will be richer than Lord of the Rings. That's my point. Xanus will not have as good richness of dialogue compared to Lord of the Rings. But the story will be better and richer. It's more entertaining, and you're more hooked, as it's a better movie. Because I'm going to give you a heads up, guys. My writing is not as rich as J.R.R. Tolkien's, as you guys read, obviously, right? It's not as rich as Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings is very, very rich. Whereas my writing is rich, too, for a fantasy world. Pretty rich. Beautifully written, too, but it's more simple. I use more simple words. Because half those words that Tolkien uses in his book, I don't even know half those words. Because I'm not a master of the English literature like he was. He was an Oxford professor at Oxford University, right? He was an English professor of Tolkien. That's why he was a master of the English literature. And his book is so beautifully written, but my story is so more entertaining, and the story's richer, and the characters are better too. Samsara, they come alive on the page when you read it. Yeah. Yeah. So J.R.R. Tolkien is a better word composer, yes. J.R.R. Tolkien is a better word composer of the English word choices and the language of the elves. In that sense, he's better than me. But I'm a better storyteller, as my story is more entertaining, and the characters are. And I'm better at writing characters too. My characters jump on the page when you read them, and they come alive like crazy. Yeah, as you guys read right now. But my story is more simple than Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings is more complex than my book when you read it. My plot's a bit complex. You gotta really, really pay attention when you read it. And then once you read it, it'll blow your mind. Like, holy shit, man. Like, yeah, Ivan's book is simple, but it's also complex at the same time. And it's fucking deep, man. Like, it's so deep, it doesn't get any deeper than that. Yeah. The plot of my book is so deep, you can't undeep that, man. It's too deep, too powerful. You can't top that story. It's too good. Yeah. Yeah. I think I might watch Lord of the Rings tonight. I'm gonna watch Fellowship of the Ring. No, Two Towers. I like Two Towers. I like watching Two Towers. I can rent it. I don't like the theatrical version. I like the extended edition, but the one on YouTube for rent is the theatrical version. But I mean, you know. So Peter might want to do some big changes, yeah. Peter might tell me, Ivan, cut out young Tactius and summarize the prologue. I'm like, no, Peter. I want to actually show what happens to Takis the First. Don't just do a quick summary like you did for Lord of the Rings. No, Peter. I paid Idris Elba his like $29 million deal. I'm not gonna pay him $29 million for like, I don't know, a 10-minute scene in the movie. No. Tell the story, have a good like 40-minute prologue. Yeah, but we gotta keep the story pacing. Like Peter, the story is pacing. Like it's a masterpiece. The prologue is interesting. The world will be hooked watching that. And then young Taki is, I don't want you cutting it out either. You're gonna piss off a lot of fans, Peter. Because Peter want to tell me, Ivan, just cut out. We should cut out young Takis and summarize young Takis and summarize the prologue. I'm like, no, Peter. Tell the story. We don't have to worry about the time constraints of the theaters, Peter. Straight to 4K Blu-ray, we can tell the story. Yeah. 40-minute prologue, 40-minute young Takis, and it transfers 20 years later when me and John Boyega and all of them are older and everything. And then, yeah, obviously. Because young Takis is an amazing chapter 2. You don't want to cut that out, Peter. You're going to piss off the fans. Yeah. I wrote young Takis for a reason, because I want the life of Takis as a young prince before he's older. And it builds more buzz for the world. Can't wait when they can't wait to see me when Takis is older and John Boyega when Tessa Tony's is older. Isn't saying, yeah. Because I'm looking at a master. I hope you're looking at a masterpiece. Yeah. But chances are Peter will not tell me to cut out anything. Yeah. Peter will not tell me to cut out anything. Because he knows, yeah, Peter would tell me, yeah, Ivan, like, all your scenes work for the movie. Like, Peter's not even seriously, man, like, your book, we can actually follow it page by page. That's why it's easier to write. Whereas for Lord of the Rings, I had to jump to all these sections to try and make a pacing story. Whereas your book, we can actually follow page by page, Ivan. I know, Peter. It's much more easy to follow Lord of the Rings. Yeah, it's easier to follow Lord of the Rings because I'm a simple writer. I'm not overcomplicated like Tolkien with all these big English words. And it's a bit confusing and it's tougher to adapt, I'm saying. That's why it's tough for me to grasp even 40% of Lord of the Rings. I only grasped maybe like, I don't know, like 4% of Lord of the Rings when I read it. And a lot of the stuff I read in the book, I forgot what happens in it because it's so rich and in depth with the world. It's tough to grasp everything, Lord of the Rings. Like, you can't even remember all the lands, man. It's so deep and rich, Lord of the Rings. Rich lore, rich history, rich world building, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. Will you be going over the script when you write it? Yes. I can do a thing where every Sunday, even though Peter and them are off weekends, obviously, every Sunday I'll have Peter and then they come to my house. Sometimes we go over the script in my house, in my living room. We go over the script in my yacht. Well, we winter, right? When it's summer, we go over the script in my yacht. My house sometimes, and sometimes in the office, we go over it to make sure everything is good, obviously. And I can go over some of Peter's notes too. I can give my input too, obviously, but yeah. And show Peter Prince of Egypt, Ivan, and Passion of the Christ that what he knows. Okay, Ivan, you want something like Prince of Egypt? Like, it's very powerful. Yeah, he's like, holy shit, I like get a mass Ivan. And the devil, our army's approaching, like Helm's Deep. He's like, holy shit, looking at mountains. And they journey through the mountains, and all the demons live in the caverns like Moria, Ivan. I'm like, yeah. He's like, Ivan, you're looking at a masterpiece. This is Lord of the Rings. Oh, I know Lord of the Rings. It's a masterpiece. Yeah, man. Xanus is a masterpiece. Yeah, man. A masterpiece. Because once you show Peter, Prince of Egypt, you'll give him ideas. Okay, I know what kind of story you want to tell. I see what you're saying. You show him that mountain scene when they have torches. Either they're all scared with torches and they journey through the mountains and they're scared. Yeah, he's like, holy shit. He's like, thank you, Ivan. You gave me some good ideas and you helped Peter get him all tore out. I just gave Peter a good idea, right, for the Exodus. Yeah. Some Sarah. Yeah. Yeah. For example, in the book, Taki says some of these children will not see the north. In the movie, I might add a few things. He says like some of these children here will not see Xanus. They will not see my heavenly kingdom. Yeah, that makes it powerful. Here's Ivan. Some of the children will not see the north. Will not see his heavenly kingdom. I'm like, yeah. He's like, holy shit, this is a powerful story. I know. Ivan, this is a massive man. How'd you come up with this story, man? This is better than Jared Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. I know, Peter. Well, I enjoyed your book more than Jared Tolkien's Lord of the Rings, Ivan. I know, Peter. It's better than Lord of the Rings. Masterpiece. Yeah. That's how you know my story's powerful. Obviously. Yeah. Because Takti is saving the Southerns. Takti is saving the Southerns from the Devil Wolves is a subplot. It's not even the main plot of the story. And even my subplots are powerful. Like Tak is being thrown in a dungeon, that's a subplot. Him hiding his identity, you know what I'm saying? The romance, and then you know what I'm saying? You have the X's of Simon. Those are subplots of my story, and even that's powerful. Even my subplots, my side plots are powerful. Whereas the real main plot is obviously when it gets very deep and powerful. Obviously, when you read one, I almost pull sore for you. Yeah, that's why I wrote a masterpiece. Yeah. And Peter might want to do a thing with the romance like Aragon, where he has flashbacks. I'm like, Peter, don't do that, man. You're gonna ruin my story. The romance is a side plot of the story, but he might wanna. He might. Peter might. Ivan, we should add more things for the romance, Ivan, with Takis and Lydia and all them, and the other woman. I'm like, yeah, we could, but I don't want to take away the focus, right? Yeah, because for Lord of the Rings, when Aragon fell off the cliff, and he had that dream with Arwen, that's all made up. It's not in the book, right? Yeah. Ivan, what if we do a thing where Takis has like he has like a dream of Lithia and all that stuff like Arwen and Lord of the Rings? I'm like, no, Peter, don't do that. Don't do that, Peter. So I'm saying no. Yeah. So I'm saying. Next paycheck, I might purchase 3 movies. I'm gonna purchase Prince of Egypt on Blu-ray, The Matrix on Blu-ray. They have good deals on Amazon. I'll purchase the movie called The Conclave. I want to watch that with the priest, the Catholic priest. That looks sick. Yeah, I might purchase those movies. Yeah. That's why Xanus will be a masterpiece. Best movies ever made. And it'll be the best fans off radio. See what I mean when you read it, guys. Yeah. So, Ivan, are you saying that all these fantasy authors are better writers than you? In terms of writing, in terms of the knowledge of the proficiency of the English literature, they're obviously better writers than me, but they're not better storytellers. They don't know how to keep the story pacing like me, and have it be very entertaining and have the characters up on the page. That's why I'm a better author than them, obviously. At the end of the day, it comes down to your storytelling abilities, right? Like, yes, like Way of Kings and Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings and all these books, they have much better English written literature, more poetic words, big overuse of the big words, more descriptions of the characters and the landscapes and everything, but the story's not as entertaining and it's not as fresh. Whereas I don't really have all those big words as you guys read, but the story's more entertaining and the characters are on the page. At the end of the day, it comes down to entertainment. If you entertain the reader more, you wrote the better book, right? Yeah. So when I say I'm a better author than all these authors, these fantasy authors, I mean in terms of storytelling. In terms of writing, I'm not a better author than them, as they have better written word choices and everything than my book when you read it. But my book is still more entertaining to read when you read it, as you guys read, right? It's beautifully written too, but I use more simple words. Like when you guys read me describing stuff, I use like all these simple words. I don't use all these over poetic words in the English literature because I don't even know half the words. But still entertaining, and my story is still better, right? It's richer, and that's why I wrote the better book, right? As my seven told my book's number 1. That's why Xanus is the best one I've ever written. Yeah. Anyways, guys, here's the video. Hope you guys enjoyed this double header from Ivan O'Mara. This is my second video. Stay tuned. I'll make a video tomorrow after my shift. No, I'll make a video tomorrow in the morning. I'm off tomorrow, and I'll start my go through series tomorrow for you guys. This is Ivan O'Mara. I'm signing out. Peace, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this show. Peace out. Don't hate them, son. Xanus.